Hello, welcome to the Sphinx Gamer podcast, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode. We are here. We're talking about a bunch of stuff today, and we have a new mic, and this is going to be a fantastic episode. Hopefully, you can hear us in glorious HD.
Yeah, and not just somebody named Mike. No, we actually have another mic. So, hopefully, this one is a little more crystal clear. Not so clear that you actually hear my nose hairs grow, though.
And hopefully, you're not too close. Who knows?
Actually, let me back up a little bit. I have a naturally loud voice, being in the food industry for the longest time. I always have to talk over everything.
So how are you doing?
Well, I couldn't be better. I guess it's winter here in Arizona because I am just sweltering
Winter.
over here.
They have 2 or 3 months of less than 60-degree weather, and then all of a sudden it's now February and it's 70 or 80 degrees outside during the afternoon. I can go outside and I can have a good sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Just fast walking.
I think everyone's heating up a little bit because the Powerball has gotten so high here in Arizona. Over $500 million up for stake for just a $2 investment, if that's what you want to call it.
So that's what you've been playing? You've been playing the Powerball?
No.
Get big?
No, that's not exactly my type of video game, but
I think I would play it.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were a Powerball video game where you just sit there, wait 2 days, and
a lottery game.
Yeah, like a lottery game.
That would be a good premium or freemium game on your phone.
Just greenlit on Steam, $10 for the lottery game. Hey, I think we're on to something here.
I think we are. Someone should sponsor the game.
Yeah, someone should really
start on making it.
Someone should really get on that random number generator based on all the different websites that you clicked on. Of course, the numbers are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 because Sphinx Gamer is the only website that you go to. Isn't that right?
Indeed. We're getting there.
Okay, well, all right. I'm Leah. I'm known as Yelm on the interweb, and I'm here with Robert today. And welcome to the Sphinx podcast. What? I think you knew that already.
I think we did. This is episode 6.
In my day, episodes came out weeks ahead of time.
We have to take the pen away from you. I think it's going to pop up on the mic, but that's okay.
A little clicker here.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the agenda, something I'm really excited for. In 2 days, Majora's Mask 3DS is coming out, as well as the brand new 3DS that follows your face around, so that you get a perfect 3D view at any angle. That's going to be really exciting to see, especially it has retextured graphics. The moon is just as frightening as ever, and Majora's Mask has always been a really deep game. You can interpret it as many different ways that you like, whether you're a Zelda fan or not. Mm-hmm. It's a fantastic game. It's dark, but it's cartoonish. It walks that line that you addressed earlier about Nintendo not quite always going across that line.
Walking the fine line of family-friendly, but just hardcore and deep enough for mature audiences to kind of understand and grasp. Yeah, Majora's Mask is definitely that game. I didn't like it back in the day when I was so young. I was so frustrated because it was so difficult of a game. I haven't played it in years, though. But I think I'm sure they have a remastered game for either the Wii or the Wii U. If it's not out, it's going to be coming, and I would play it there. But I'm sure for the handheld folks, you have a 3DS?
I have a 3DS XL. I don't have the new one, of course. But I am very excited about this game. Apparently, a lot of people on the internet are too, because pre-orders alone are going from anywhere from $60 to $350 just for what is it? The basic pre-order comes with a little Skull Kid figurine. I'm not even sure if it's actually an amiibo.
Yeah.
And then the other pre-order comes with a figurine, comes with a T-shirt, a lithograph, or something along those lines. But all the pre-orders are bought out. And people are making money off of selling pre-orders. I mean, we've we've stepped it up a notch in the buying and reselling industry. You know, I mean, back in the day, you know, if you lived in a small town or something and you had, you know, a GameStop, or I guess in this case it would have been a Babbage's or an Egghead Software, etc. You know, you wanted to pre-order it, you wanted to pay that $5 just to get, you know, just to get your hands on the game, just to guarantee that there would be a copy for you. Yeah. But now it almost seems to be like artificial inflation. Because when you're a company like Nintendo and you've been around since, well, you've at least been making video games since, 1984, 1985?
Yeah.
I think if you've been making the same damn game for the last 20-some-odd years, you're going to know your demographic, and you're going to know how many people are going to want these games and how many games you're actually going to have to supply. So I'm not really too keen on Nintendo doing this artificial inflation thing. The Amiibos are a perfect example.
It's making you sweat.
It is, yeah.
It's we had to turn off some background, the air conditioning here in the studio, because it popped up on the test for this mic that it would just be humming in the background annoyingly. So it's a sacrifice for recording the episode.
Absolutely. Well, in all fairness, I'm a big Polish woman. I'm naturally used to the cold weather.
Yeah.
You know, my skin loves it, and the split second the air stiffens up, it's just like, you know, I'm dripping. You know, stick a fork in me, I am done.
So, you know, I'm sure lots of people are lining up to get the Majora's Mask. A lot of people are going to be playing it. If I had a 3DS, I'd probably be playing it on my plane ride. I'm going to New York tomorrow, or late night on Thursday night. But that would be pretty fun games. I have to figure out some fun games to play.
Well, I definitely highly recommend the Phoenix Wright game.
Yeah.
What's it called? Dual Destinies or something along those lines. Split Destinies. Really good way to pass the time. You know, good way to wear out your brain and get a good sleep going on.
Yeah.
Great for waiting in lines, and I always like to whip it out and stand there and hold it out. You know, just in case anyone might be looking over my shoulder. Like, yeah, you like that? You like those graphics? Huh? Yeah,
I did that with my Android phone playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City, just hitting people, and I would just flaunt it, be like, you know what game I'm playing? Yeah, I'm this guy here playing Grand Theft Auto.
Excuse me, sir, what burger did you order? Hold on a second, this hoe didn't pay me. Whack, whack. Okay, yeah, can I get extra cheese on that? Okay, so, yeah, anyway, hey, but okay, terrible humor.
That's okay. They're laughing, I'm sure.
I hope they're laughing with us. Yeah.
Or they could be laughing at us.
Oh, live action Legend of Zelda coming to Netflix. Rumor or not a rumor?
Well, I think it goes back to what we were talking about before we started recording for that, you know, Nintendo's walking that fine line there. I was reading a Wall Street Journal article. It was about how this is going to be the Game of Thrones family-friendly version, and that's very interesting. I think that's an ambitious goal to kind of meet. I've watched Game of Thrones. I've watched the Vikings show on the History Channel, which is very similar in the way of the depth, and Game of Thrones is pretty morbid, and just seeing that translation to Legend of Zelda is going to be it's interesting. I wish them the best in trying to pull that through, but I think it's a lot for them to kind of.
It's someone who can get the slash attack down. The hoo ha yeah.
Good choreography. Yeah! They're going to need a good screenwriter. They're going to need a good director for these episodes. This is television. I think we're going to be expecting 10 episodes, but it's going to have to ramp up very quickly in terms of getting that storyline together, getting that setting, getting good actors, and really getting finding that mix of the drama portions that kind of drive that story along, that drive the story and the characters along, but also the action sequences as well, that we as Legend of Zelda fans, you know, that we want to see, the mature audiences, not just something silly like Dora the Explorer miniature BS version of The Legend of Zelda. I don't know, but I don't want to see that. I will cry.
I was always really fond of the one in the 89, the Legend of Zelda cartoon. He's always trying to get a kiss, and of course Zelda won't give him a little peck on the cheek.
Lucky for me, I think I missed that one.
He had a wonderful catchphrase, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, Link was dude wearing a tunic, right? You know, think like Michelangelo.
That show, the Sonic show, the Mario Brothers show. I have glimpses of memories watching them, and all of them are just, it's a joke.
He had a catchphrase. Well, excuse me, princess. Oh, but okay, yeah.
Time to turn on Pokemon.
Yeah, time to turn on Pokemon. Well, excuse me, Pikachu.
So that's what's coming to Netflix. I'm looking forward to some Netflix shows. Daredevil they've gotten that down. I think it's premiering on Netflix sometime in April. I think that if they got the good director and some really good stuff coming, that it's going to be a fantastic show. It's going to drive Netflix subscriptions, no doubt, and definitely bring show Link and the whole Legend of Zelda into a brand new, interesting light.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we can get the timeline finally confirmed. Finally all sorted out here, and that's a good idea. They're gonna tackle both the video game industry and the people who like to watch television. I do not fall into that category, but we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah,
absolutely. What do you guys think? What do you guys know about the new Legend of Zelda coming to Netflix? Confirm or deny? Is this a real rumor or not a real rumor? And can it surpass the animation on the Zelda CDI with such superior acting?
Well, the answer to your second question will probably be yes. This is a live action thing, and I think I believe it's past the rumor stage. I think they confirmed that they're in talks, Netflix and Nintendo, but we just don't have a trailer. We don't have people that are coming out saying, yes, we're working on this, stuff like that. Nothing too solid. But I think that's going to happen eventually. Well, so we'll have to keep our eyes open. But for those of you that want to chime in, feel free on the post page. We're on Stitcher, as well as you go onto our website, sphinxgamer.com, and you can chat about it on the forums.
You know why I think they haven't said anything about it? Because it's a secret to everybody. Oh, okay. Thank you. Tip your waitress. Really inside joke. Yeah, you ever played the original Zelda and you find a secret passage and a moblin gives you money and says it's a secret to everybody?
Yeah.
And
I like what you did there.
Yeah, thank you.
I like what you did there.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody laughed. I had to pay him for it, but he laughed.
Okay.
Trust me, he laughed. Well, it was more of a subtle guffaw, but
paying for favors.
Yeah.
But just for jokes
absolutely.
or something like that. Yeah.
So
what are you currently playing?
I'm just finishing up Phoenix Wright right now. It's the kind of game that I love and that I hate. Mainly because
tell me and some other people who've never played this game, what's it about? How does I have an idea of the gameplay of it, but I'm no person to sit down on my handheld and I don't probably not play a game like that. That's probably me. But go ahead and tell us about what is your most recent experience with this game. What is something that brings you back to play it? I know that's a loaded question, but take your time.
Well, it's like okay. So basically, Phoenix Wright is a lawyer. You assume his role, but the nice thing about Dual Destinies is they seem to bring back little throwbacks from all the previous original Phoenix Wrights, but keeping in with the logic. After the very first Phoenix Wright, they had just the first Phoenix Wright was all about logic. Present evidence, catch them in their lie, bada bing, bada boom. Split second Phoenix Wright came out. I'm sure a lot of people have mixed emotions about it, but I personally did not like it. Instead of presenting evidence, it had this gimmick where you had a Nagitana or something along those lines. It was like this gemstone that you would wear around your neck, and when anyone was lying about something, these chains would appear, and you could actually lose the game if you didn't make these invisible locks unlock and catch them in their line. Yeah, you would lose the game if you guessed wrong too many times and didn't unlock these locks. It's not like you were up there on the trial. The trial wasn't going on while these were going on. This was okay. I'm talking to some guy on the street. He said something that's a lie. All these chains and locks appear, and you get like 5 chances to unlock anywhere from 1 to 7 locks.
I think they've implemented that kind of mechanic. The last game I played that was like that was L.A. Noire. That was pretty interesting with the interrogations and whatnot. You have a certain amount of chances and stuff like that to progress that narrative along. But who's your favorite character in Phoenix Wright? Go.
Easy, Miles Edgeworth. Absolutely.
And who was he? Is he very good looking? Is he smart?
Well, for a video game character, yes, he is extremely good looking. He was Phoenix Wright's rival in the first game. At least he was the prosecutor. And he had his own spin-off game called Miles Edgeworth Ace Prosecutor, I believe. And there was a sequel to that game. It's only in Japan. It hasn't been translated, hasn't been brought over here yet, but I would love to see it brought over here. And I'm assuming that in the new Phoenix Wright, Edgeworth does make a return appearance, and I think there's some throwbacks to that Japanese sequel that, since I haven't played, I don't understand.
That makes two of us.
Yeah, but they brought back the Nagatana from the second game, and they brought back in the Apollo Justice game, which I believe was the fourth game. He had a bracelet that would beat like a heart whenever someone was lying, and that one was actually kind of neat because you would slowly listen to what they were saying, and you would sort of perceive through this lens of truth, like in The Legend of Zelda. And when they would say something, they may have a twitch in their eye. Like I believe one of the ones I had the hardest time on was a little bit of armpit sweat appeared. It was like just a splash appearing and then disappearing.
And you can see this with your lens of light.
Yeah, with your lens of truth, so to speak. And so they brought back that. They brought in a few other characters from the previous game. It was always kind of weird because in the first three games, Phoenix Wright is this grown man. He's like 25 years old, and he's running around with like a 14-year-old and a 7-year-old girl.
But he's an ace attorney.
Yes, that's right. Nothing wrong going on here, folks. Then I think he ends up adopting a daughter.
This is just getting weird.
It was like a Batman and Robin story. Like a girl's father dies. She's a magician. He decides, I'm just going to adopt her, and she kind of becomes his sidekick. And I think that was like in the third one. But Dual Destinies, they just keep throwing out characters like, hey, remember Pearl from this game? Oh, isn't she cute? Hey, let's just show an image of Maya. Oh, hey, remember the lock system? Oh, hey, remember that beating heart bracelet that you hated so much? Well, here it is again. But
this obviously isn't a good game for newcomers to get into, I guess. I wouldn't be playing this one.
It wasn't actually that bad because they did fix a lot of the discrepancies, like you don't lose if you guess wrong too many times, because most people are just going to hit the continue button anyway. And there's a lot more logic to it this time around, although I feel like a lot of it is he's already solving it, and then he's telling the story, and then he's like, okay, and then it's like Dora the Explorer, like, do you see the evidence that I was talking about? Blink, so some of them seem a little
Dora
too simple.
Interesting.
I'm the judge, I'm the judge, I'm the judge, I'm the judge.
They break out into dance?
No, but that would be pretty spiffy.
When that happens, maybe I'll have to play the game.
Oh, mercy. I think it'd be a good beginner's game to get into the Phoenix Wright series. Worst game would definitely be the second game. Please don't ever play that. That's just a personal recommendation of mine. How about you? You've been playing any games?
I'm still trying to play Destiny. My life, it just sucks. I go to I don't have enough time to go through and play the game and fully experience it still. There's just so much to do because I'm still trying to actually level up and across all three of my characters, the Titan, and the Hunter and the Warlock. It's a very interesting game. I need some more time to play it. I think next week I want to have a day off. I'm going to email the day job, tell them I'm sick, and then I'm going to boot up the PS4 at 8 a.m. I'm going to play that for a few hours, and see what happens.
Sounds like your destiny.
Sounds like my destiny for them to hear this, fire me, and then I can play Destiny.
Yeah, don't tell your boss you have a podcast.
Yeah, I shouldn't tell them. Maybe they already know.
Don't tell anyone you have a podcast.
Don't tell anyone.
It's pretentious.
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing, but I forget if I've said this before or not, but my bin over there is like an old country buffet of games. You go in, free of charge, of course, because it's not really a buffet of that kind of sort. But each game is kind of like a platter. You go in, I get some on my plate, I pop it in, I play it for a few minutes, I get my fill, and I move on to the next plate, and I'm just chipping away very slowly at these games. There's AC Unity, AC4, which I haven't quite finished yet. There's Destiny, there's Dragon Age Inquisition, there's Shadow of Mordor. All these games I'm sure many people out there have already finished and are long gone with, but there's just not enough time in my day for it, and I'm completely backlogged.
If gaming's a buffet, I tend to fill up on bread first. It's quite a shame.
I wonder what the bread is of gaming.
Probably
some
games
Phoenix
that
Wright.
Games that came out in 2012. So I need to catch up. I've been filling up on breadsticks and free salad a little bit too much.
Except at this buffet, you don't have to run to the bathroom after you're done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you just go down and you crush it for hours. You don't have to worry about anything afterwards. It's glorious. But that's what I've been kind of playing. There's so much stuff out there, so many entertainments that demand, I'm not sure about you, but also my time as well. Actually, you said that you're not really big into TV shows or anything like that, but that's something that I watch. These online, on-to-go apps. I don't even have cable. I said no more cable. I cut the cord. I said, you know what, I'm going to do Netflix and Amazon Prime, or Instant Video, I should say, and that's been working out. I can watch Justified and Person of Interest and all these other TV shows that I have to watch when they come out with the new episodes, and I get that email, and I'm like, you know what, I guess I'll spend 45 minutes to an hour watching this show. And that's another hour that I sacrifice from not getting through the games, but there's so much stuff out there.
Cable's not really worth it. I mean, first you have to, in most cases, sign a contract, and then you have to watch the commercials. So it's like you're paying to watch commercials, essentially.
Yeah, that's how, in case of some online streaming on the internet, is turning into. You have to watch a 15-second commercial or something like that before before what you're wanting to watch comes on. But that's certainly a lot more easier to view than 2-minute commercials in the middle of your show after a cliffhanger. So It's very interesting. But with all these entertainments, of course, there's another huge thing is the mobile gaming. You have a smartphone. I have a smartphone. I'm now from Android to iOS. I took a look around the App Store. There's tons of stuff, whole lots of remakes. They did the Bioshock re-release iOS version. I think it might be on Android as well, but there's also Indigo Prophecy, which is another very good game from a couple of generations ago. It was on Xbox. I think it was also known as Fahrenheit. That's probably going to be the game I play on my plane ride, maybe, because it's such a good game. But there's a lot of stuff out there. You're probably carrying your 3DS more than you're going to play games on your mobile phone. Yeah,
this is true.
But I don't have a handheld anymore, unfortunately. So I said, I wasn't spending enough time with it. I had the Vita. I played some games. I said, you know what? I don't know why I got this a month or two before it actually launched. There's no good games on it for me to play. There's no point of me having it anymore. I sold it, and I haven't really looked back. But now, of course, when I look back at selling it, I tear up a little bit because there are games on there that aren't available on the mobile phones and stuff like that. So, one day maybe I might get it again. But I really want a Nintendo one because that way I can play Pokemon.
There you go.
Glorious. I will be pleased.
The new Pokemon, it looks really interesting. It's actually like a whole new plot. It's not like, you're just you go fight the rock gym leader, and then you go fight the water gym leader, and then you go fight the Team Rocket clone.
That's the way it's always been.
Yeah, it's always been like that, but now it actually has like a full-fledged, like brand spanking new plot. Like we're talking like Verge on the End of the World type plot. completely different from the stereotypical pull it out of the bin plot that they've been relying on every single time. It seemed like Pokemon roster update for a while there, and now it almost seems like a completely new game. I have not played it, but it looks like a whole lot of fun.
And definitely another game that has a huge fan base for Nintendo.
Yeah. If you're a Pokemon fan, I highly recommend Tamishi Hiroki, I believe her name is. She wears a Pokemon Pikachu hoodie, and she actually does some really. She's quite young, but she actually does some really interesting Pokemon videos.
Okay.
The indie game market, the handheld market, and so on. It's almost not worth it these days. It seems like these days it's like, okay, let's log on, congregate, see what games are out that we can steal and rehash and market. I was watching TV the other day. I know I said that I don't watch TV, but I just happened to glance at a commercial. And there's a game called Bubble Witch Saga. You're a witch, and you throw colored balls at the side of the screen, and you free a giant ghost by popping these bubbles.
Is this mobile?
Yeah. And does this sound any at all familiar?
It sounds like it's another 99-cent game that people are probably going to buy just to waste more time, like Flappy Bird and Temple Run and stuff like that. There are a lot of games out there that are not very deep at all.
It reminds me of Bust a Move, the game that was
really
spun off from Bubble Bobble.
I know Bust a Move more than that other game. But they had a huge franchise, whole series of games that were going. I remember playing it in the PlayStation 1 days. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Angry Bird. Angry Bird is just a rehash of Crush the Castle, which is a free game on Congregate, and all they did was replace knights and stones with birds and pigs. Voila, millionaire.
Candy
Crush Saga was called Sweet Swing or something along those lines, and another free game. It's just a rehash of that.
Unfortunately, it seems one game that doesn't quite get marketed and doesn't hit mainstream, another person can kind of come along and add in their own kind of ideas with taking that inspiration. I don't really think I think it's not fair to call that they're not having they're not putting in much imagination or calling it an originality, but there's definitely some claim to some cash there with the mobile market.
Yes.
Indie gaming as a whole goes on far beyond that. From what you see on Steam, your Five Nights at Freddy's, that's an indie title. Steam Greenlight program, what Sony does for the PlayStation audience, and what Microsoft is doing with their indie program. They're trying to cultivate and make it easier for publishers, for developers out there to self-publish their games and get it out there. And it's almost, you can say the same thing about movies and TV shows, that many successful movies have inspirations from, or they take inspiration from various things that they like, and it's an example of the developers of their own inspired works of arts out there in the entertainment.
Well, you got to do what works.
Yeah.
Walking Dead, the new season just came out, and although it's got all the exciting concepts of a good zombie show, they've introduced a lot of the same concepts. The zombie sympathizer, the careless, reckless.
It's the same story tropes. Yeah, sure, definitely.
Yeah.
But in some cases as well, that would be that. Some people would, or some screenwriters would say that is the basis of creating a solid story. There are certain things that you need in order to create a captivating story. You need that hero. Sometimes you need a damaged hero. Sometimes you also need to add a character that wants something. There's all these different kinds of steps that make a story good, that can captivate an audience. But definitely, using inspiration, though, to, copy what's been successful and to continue that trend, as you see in Call of Duty. It's the same general machine that cranks it out every year. It's the same basis. or that same foundation, I guess you could say that's always being used year after year, but it's always they try to make it different.
It's funny you mentioned Five Nights at Freddy's earlier,
Yeah.
Which I've mentioned in probably just about every previous episode. I love it so much for its originality. But even Five Nights at Freddy's is now being rehashed. Although people aren't making money off of it, it seems like there's different variations of Five Nights at Freddy's. Just insert name here.
Are you talking about like mods or actually?
No, like if I made a game and I called it Five Nights at Sphinx Gamer, and it was about being in the Sphinx Gamer studio trying to fend off two obnoxious podcast hosts that seem to creep up on you every time you check the security cameras.
Okay.
And it's my game. Don't get it mixed up with anything else, okay? It's totally original. And I'm not Sonic the Hedgehog. So there.
Silence.
So anyway, so Five Nights at Freddy's, huh? How about that Five Nights at Freddy's? Okay, so
you know more about that game than I do. Please spill the beans. What are you looking forward to in this new one? You love to talk about it. We'll give it some stage light. Maybe people will go and check it out.
I really hope people do. This is going to be the conclusion. The guy who's done it, Scott Cawthorn.
Will it really be the conclusion, or will there be a fourth
I think
one?
so. It's basically just one guy working on it, and then you have this huge fan base is growing, and I think it's going to happen like with Duke Nukem Forever. People are having all these theories, all these expectations. And when it finally comes out, a lot of people are going to be unhappy. A lot of people are going to be satisfied. But I think it's going to throw back to the first one. I think it's going to wrap up every loose ends. And from that point on, I think he may sell it to another company, because my understanding is it's taking a lot of his personal life away.
And that's one of the keys of you're making a good game. Putting in those 16, 18, 20-hour days maybe. Lots of those small studios, those people do that. It's tough.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's going to be a lot of fun. My computer is unfortunately roached out, so I have to get that fixed so I can play it. But if you're really into the game and you really get in with the story, believe it or not, there's a story for it just being such a very simple game. Then you'll be really excited about Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Scott has said that Bonnie the Bunny gives him nightmares, and I think Bonnie the Bunny is going to play a very key factor in the new game. So it's going to be less about Freddy and be more like Five Nights at Bonnie's.
Okay. Five Nights at Bonnie's.
And you have no idea what I'm talking about, because I don't think you've actually played it or really sat down and watched it.
What's the name of the video that we watched before we recorded? What's the name of that guy? We'll throw him a shout out. He had a funny voice.
Why not? I mean,
why not?
Smike. His name's Smike.
Do your impression of him.
Hello, it is Smike here, and today we are going to do a top 10 video on things that are on desks in Sphinx Gamer Studios. Number 1. We have some Claritin D medication. Most people don't know that Claritin D is an anti-allergy medication, but it is in fact an anti-allergy medication. Okay, I'm taking small jabs here. Okay,
well, it's unfair. Out for the product placement there.
Yeah, definitely edit that one out. But I'm also taking very small jabs here. His videos are very simplistic. He just tells it like it is and does what he knows, but I still haven't figured it out. This guy has 500,000 subscribers. He'll post a Five Nights at Freddy's video and get 100,000, 200,000 views in just a couple of weeks. Props to the guy for doing it. I don't know how he does it, but he obviously knows something that I don't.
Probably a very lengthy time developing videos and creating that community. That's pretty interesting. Good for him.
Yeah, great.
So
great
FCC declared internet a utility. I want to throw that one out.
Oh yeah, how could I forget? I mean, they've rewritten the law so many times, just to try to get people to what is it? Unneutrality.
Net neutrality.
Net neutrality. Yes. They've just reworded it so many times. People have shot it down so many times, and finally, I think this will be the be-all, catch-all. Internet is a utility, just like water, just like power. Everyone has a right to it. Everyone has the right to pay for it.
I think it's more of a scheme created by Google so that they can push through their fiber to become a competitor in every market where there's the major cable provider. I bet Comcast is... You're sweating at just the thought of Google coming in here in Phoenix to compete against the cable provider, but definitely the major ones out there are not very pleased with it. But this helps out Google so that they can further expand. Whenever it's coming to Phoenix, I am lying in wait.
Hey, if someone gave it to me, I'd use it, right?
Of course. Yeah. But definitely this helps the internet out. I think it's unacceptable that some people in this country have download speeds less than 1 megabit per second. Those in the boondocks probably are still using some form of dial-up or very slow DSL. But today, if you want to do anything online, you need something more than that. You need upwards of 5, 10 megabits per second if you want to stream video and stream video games. We were talking, I think maybe on the last episode, about the infrastructure of gaming. The technology is going very fast. It's scaling up very fast, I should say. And not many people have the broadband capabilities to really hop on that ship. PlayStation Now and PlayStation View and the Xbox TV streaming service. You need to have the internet connection for that.
Right.
Once we all have Google Fiber running at 1 gigabit per second or 100 megabits per second, we'll be all set.
But could you imagine buying websites like you buy your television channel packages? Like that would just be ridiculous. You'd have to get the gaming website package, get access to IGN. And
probably only a matter of time. It looks like anything out there can be monetized. It's up to someone out there with the idea and the capability to bring it all together. But it's going to be interesting.
And speaking of net neutrality, not so neutral as of late. This is something that I never see is we all know about swatting. The chances. We could even be swatted right now. Someone doesn't.
No, we're
like
recording
us,
a podcast.
Yeah,
right now.
they could do something. Right? Okay, so no, this isn't live. No,
they can go off.
Yeah. So sometimes I forget about that. But a man actually got convicted for swatting in Las Vegas. His name's Brian Wilson, otherwise known as Framed God.
Probably want to edit that guy's name out, too. Before we do get swatted.
Right. I hear he was framed.
Yeah.
So no. But no, when people get swatted, it's been a victimless crime for the longest time, and this is the first time that I've seen someone actually get caught and potentially facing jail time. He could face up to 5 years in jail alone.
It's worse than dialing 911 and calling them out to your place when you don't really have an emergency.
Right.
It's a waste of resources and time.
And people do get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
People do get hurt.
It's interesting.
What do you guys think? You think 5 years does justice, or you think we should throw the book at this guy for
How old
swatting?
was he?
Oh gosh, he's...
was he a teenager or somebody in 20s or a very angry 40-year-old that lost at Call of Duty or maybe he was playing Counter-Strike and he's like, you know what, I hate this guy, I'm going to call the cops, and then he got caught.
You know what, he's actually only 19 years old.
19.
So yeah, his computers were seized. He's going to be extradited to Illinois.
He swatted somebody. He called the cops for somebody living in Illinois.
He
lives in Illinois, and it happens in Vegas.
Apparently, he swatted numerous people. This guy is like the swatting bandit. He swatted people in numerous states, and each state wants a piece of him. So he may get more than 5 years in being extradited to different states. Who knows?
You think this would be escalated up to to federal court?
Right. I mean, you're going to get someone killed by calling the police like
interstate,
that.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And, we're also talking fraud here. The guy told the victim of the swatting that he was going to drain their bank account. He was going to get harassed.
Why do people do this? Just be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Don't swat people.
Don't be assholes. This is why I don't play online with many people. They're assholes sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I just want to play with bots. Again, please bring back bots. I would be pleased with that. That is all.
Reminds me of an interesting article that you mentioned bots. Gentleman, he had a Quake 3 arena game going. He would run the computer bots.
Yeah.
The bots would fight, and he'd practice, or he'd sit there and watch.
Glorious days.
He had a private Quake 3 arena server. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so he had these bots running one day. Right, he forgets about the bots. Right. He comes back 5 years later. The bots aren't doing anything. It was like war games,
yeah.
Right? Because the bots in Quake 3 Arena, they were adaptive. Okay, so if you kept coming around this one corner with this one gun numerous times, the bot was going to recognize, Mr. Weed 420 69 is going to come around the corner with a lightning gun.
420 69.
Right. I'm going to anticipate that. So they may very well fire their shotgun just as they're coming around the corner because they got that smart. And it was like war games. The bots adapted, and the only right move was not to play. The guy logs on, and the bots are just standing there. They're not fighting. They're not doing anything. The split second, he shot one of the bots. Boom! All hell breaks loose, and they go back to war again.
Huh.
And,
wow.
and that sounds like a really poetic story, although my understanding is it's just an error in the script. The bots can only record so many movements before they just don't know what to do next. But
who knows? It could be the very beginning of the Google dog walking around getting kicked, and now 10 years later from today, we're going to have the Skynet Terminators going after the people who kicked the bot. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to stay in my apartment with the doors locked. The future sucks.
Come with me if you want to frag.
Yeah. I'll be playing something. I don't know what. So what else have we got going on here? I know there were some interesting stories that popped up throughout the week. Last week, I think the Gawker story about how the Coca-Cola Twitter campaign, they were running Make It Happy, hashtag Make It Happy, and it was a bot that ran after people would tweet to Coca-Cola's campaign about something negative, and they would turn that into happy pictures and whatnot, like a pirate ship with with an eye patch and stuff like that. So the guys over at Gawker, they decided to create their own Twitter bot to quote passages from Hitler's autobiography book, Mein Kampf, and send it to the campaign, to the Coca-Cola Twitter feed. They picked it up, and then they would turn that into happy photos, and it was hilarious. I think they did it maybe 5-8 times. It's all along the Gawker's page, but I was chuckling at the thought of reading that. It's interesting.
Well, you give the internet any sort of power, and they're going to take advantage of it.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Case in point, swatting. Complete anonymity. So this is what we fought for. This is what we fought for. We fought for the ability to quote Mein Kampf in Coca-Cola product placements. Trying to make people happy. That is our victory, America. This is what we've been fighting for.
People are free to do whatever they want.
That's
which
right.
Is fine. Just leave me alone.
Yeah. Next thing you know, they'll be quoting Kafka on the Pizza Hut voice recorder app.
Good thing I'm just going to order online. They can have it delivered after I type in my stuff. And then, what's your last point about?
It's like a riddle wrapped in a pepperoni, wrapped in an enigma.
When we're looking over our notes so that we can finish up Because we're sweating. You're sweating.
You want
it to be done.
I'm sweating like crazy. It's amazing.
We're not going to be done yet. You want it. I see glass porn here. I don't know what this means.
Don't ask me how I know. Don't ask me how I know. But the first Google Glass porn was produced.
How do you know?
I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend
who was wearing the Google Glass who recorded it.
Who was wearing the Google Glass? Yes. Actually, no. I think I heard it from Imager.
I'm surprised it took them this long. I mean, maybe it's just me, but if I had glasses that recorded everything, I think it would have been only a matter of time before I would record some porn, maybe. Besides traveling the world and maybe recording some conversations or my time at the bar or putting it on a dog and having him just walk around kind of like what they do with the GoPro cameras. I'm just surprised it took them, what is it, like a year, 2 years?
Right, exactly.
For this to come out?
Not even spoof it, It's like, they actually did it. They actually did it.
So, I must be one sick person. So is that it?
I think that's pretty much it. Arizona is absolutely killing me right now. Absolutely
crazy.
I know, right? Okay, we'll wrap this up. Thank you very much for having me here today, Mr. Robert.
Having you, you're a regular co-host. You're fine. You can come in and out. You do whatever you want. You're welcome.
Oh, great. I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee here.
Cup of coffee. Then. We got the Keurig and everything like that.
Yeah.
Folks, we are on Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Libsyn. Listen to us across many devices. I can't even remember, but there's a lot of them out there. Please be sure if you enjoyed the show and the episode to please rate. Send us your comments. We'll read them on the show. We have send it to our Twitter at Sphinx_Gamer and also on Facebook. And also register for an account on sphinxgamer.com and get involved on the forums as well. You chat with other community members and things like that and let us know your thoughts on the show, but also on the articles that you'll find on the site to read. And also look forward to some more stuff coming over the weekend as I'm off to New York for Indiecade East, which is going to be very exciting. Lots of stuff that I got planned for that, so you'll have to wait. But I think we are over. So.
Yeah, keep a copy of Sphinx Podcast in your car, maybe a few in your first aid kit, just for emergencies. You never know when you'll need it.
Yeah, that's right. So later on, folks, thanks for listening.
And if it ain't Sphinx, it stinks.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Sphinx Gamer podcast. If you enjoyed the show, we ask that you please rate and share us. Let us know your thoughts by registering for an account on sphinxgamer.com and getting involved in our community forums. Thank you, and see you all next week.